Have you seen it? Have you heard about it? It's all over the news. TikTok might be in jail or at least being kicked out of the US entirely. But the story is that Elon Musk might swoop in and save the day, purchase TikTok, and include it in his giant X social media platform. At least that's what the legacy media wants you to believe. Today we'll tell you whether it's true or could it be Chi-Com propaganda. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel that continues to change hearts and minds simply by telling the truth 4 times a day, right here, every single day, 365. And when those leap years come around, by golly, we leap at the opportunity to have bonus content for you. Folks, all we ask is that you click the like button, and today we're going to tell you what's going on with the situation with TikTok, the Chinese no doubt company now used to propagandize your kids. There's a very funny story going on. Will Elon buy it? Well, folks, we'll tell you we're not necessarily buying it. Pay attention. We'll tell you why with the panel right now. All right. Well, Jonas, I will hand it to you to cover this story because this is just breaking and was actually breaking overnight. And we are trying to figure out, is this real or is it Chi-Com propaganda? And it could go either way, but apparently TikTok might be sold to Elon Musk and TikTok might be drawn into X to create a mega social media platform that we didn't see this coming. I don't think anybody, maybe the Chi-Coms did, but we're trying to figure out, we're trying to assess, is it real? Is it not real? Jonas, what's the deal?
All right. So this is the article originating out of Bloomberg. There are some, if you're a headline chaser, if you're the kind of person who just reads a headline on X, it's very easy to get one aspect of the story that is very close to what happened and run with that. So there's a lot of people saying out there that Elon Musk is trying to buy TikTok. I'm going to say that that is not what is indicated by this story or the follow-up we've got from Wall Street Journal. I'm hearing that there's a Forbes article out there. If one of you guys has the link to that and you want to send it in the private chat, that is great. So let's talk about this one. China weighs sale of TikTok US to Musk as a possible option. ByteDance, that is the company that owns TikTok, preferred strategy is to fight the ban. People say Trump has said he would like to delay the ban to seek resolution. Now, the relationship between Elon Musk and Donald Trump is a key to the speculation here as we go through this. Chinese officials are evaluating a potential option that involves Elon Musk acquiring the U.S. operations of TikTok if the company fails to fend off a controversial ban on the short video app, according to people familiar with the matter. Beijing officials strongly prefer that TikTok remains under the ownership of parent ByteDance, the people say, and the company is contesting the impending ban with an appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court, but the justices signaled during arguments on January 10th they are likely to uphold the law. Senior Chinese officials had already begun to debate contingency plans for TikTok as part of an expansive discussion on how to work with Donald Trump's administration, one of which involves Musk, said the people, asking not to be identified, revealing confidential discussions. There's a couple of things that, while I'm not sure how quick Pro's internet is going right now, that I want to point out here. Senior Chinese officials. You may notice that that is not the executive team at ByteDance. That is the
executive team at ByteDance.
It is the executive team at ByteDance, but they're very specific here that it's senior Chinese officials. Why is that, by the way, Marvin, since you chimed in?
Because any company that runs out of China or is owned by China is in effect run by the Chinese government. So whenever you are doing business with a Chinese company, you are in essence doing business with the People's Republic of China, the communist government that oppresses its people and free speech and all that other stuff.
Right. So any company, especially on the size of ByteDance, which also owns CapCut, any company of that size would definitely have a member of the Chinese Communist Party on the board. And at that size, it's probably a large number. The party controls the country. The party essentially is the country. And we joke about the resistance here in America, but you would have to be very quiet about it if you dealt with someone who was in the party. If you wanted to raise your prospects in the country, you would have to be involved in the party there. So when they say Chinese officials, it's the same as ByteDance, essentially here. A potential high-profile deal with one of Trump's closest allies holds some appeal for the Chinese government. I bet it does, which is expected to have some say over whether TikTok is ultimately sold, said the People. Musk spent more than $250 million supporting Trump's reelection and has been tapped for a prominent role in improving government efficiency under the Republican after the Republican takes office. So this is, of course, fascinating here to watch. Pro, you have anything you want to throw in at the moment before we go to Wall Street Journal?
Well, one of the things that you're always looking for when you're talking about the Chi-Coms, and by the way, so the veil is pulled back. We all know now that TikTok has been and is and will always be, so long it is controlled by ByteDance, it's the Chinese government. So this was the Chinese government coming in and deciding how your children on TikTok were going to be entertained and what they were going to be fascinated by. The algorithms were set up such that it would favor whatever China wants to achieve in America. So you can put that baby goes to bed now. You don't have to wonder about it. You don't have to debate it. That baby is in bed. We're done. We're going on. That's where we are. Okay. So what you got to wonder with the Chi-Coms is, what's the play here? Why do they want us to believe that Elon Musk might buy this? And by the way, since he says X is going to be the everything app, it would have to be rolled into X. Like, what's the play here? Why do they think this helps them to get that narrative out? And I'd be curious what the panel has to say.
While everybody's thinking, I'm going to throw this one in here. Musk and his representatives did not respond to a request for comment. Musk posted in April, which, that's more than 6 months ago, that he thinks TikTok should remain available in the U.S. In my opinion, TikTok should not be banned in the USA, even though such a ban may benefit the X platform, he wrote on X. Doing so would be contrary to freedom of speech and expression. It's not what America stands for.
And the freedom of the Chinese government to have all your information.
Yeah.
Kind of ironic, isn't it?
I don't understand why anyone is trying to save TikTok. Let it burn, let it die, let it get banned. We don't need it. Just create something that does the same thing that TikTok does, which, by the way, just about every social media platform does. It's actually for 14-year-old kids. We don't need it.
Yeah, actually, they already have. It's called Lemonade, and I've been talking about it for 4 or 5 days. It's also by ByteDance, and it's the thing that a lot of creators that are reliant on TikTok, I believe, have moved to. So yeah, that's a story in and of itself, I think. But
you said it's also by ByteDance, so it's also controlled by the Chinese government.
Yeah.
Lateral move. You're changing seats on the Titanic at that point.
Look, it's just a push to have it survive. LEMON and then the number 8, the numeral 8.
Now, there are a couple of things I want to point out here. We do have another story on this. First of all, TikTok got in a lot of trouble with iOS when iOS finally made it to where if one app tries to paste from another app, it sends you a notification on the screen. So this is something that TikTok had to change the way that they operate, because it would say, oh, well, TikTok is trying to paste from Instagram. So it is definitely an app that was collecting a lot more information than was being let on. Here is an interesting article that Pro and I were discussing before the show here. This is from 1:43 in the morning from an author named Stu Wu.
Wait a minute. Say it again, Jonas. Did you say Stu Wu?
Stu Wu, right there, from the Wall Street Journal, and posting out of Singapore. So geographically, quite a bit closer to China here. Saying Chinese officials facing a looming U.S. TikTok ban have internally discussed options, including the possibility of allowing a trusted non-Chinese party such as Elon Musk to invest in or take control of TikTok's U.S. operations. There's 2 points I want to make here before throwing it back to the panel. A lot of the information is repeated from the other article. Of course, Trump says he wants to find a way to let TikTok remain in the U.S. That's not the point I wanted to get here. The Chinese government hasn't communicated with ByteDance about the other contingency plans it has considered, people said. Beijing wouldn't order ByteDance to sell the app to a specific investor, they said. This is suspicious wording considering specifically Marvin's comments, which I agree with, by the way. It has a key role to play in the discussions because China's Export controls require government approval for sale of domestically developed algorithms for recommending content to foreign entities. The algorithm that China and ByteDance have designed for consumption by U.S. audiences here. Here's the point I want to get. For some, an official move to protect TikTok could suggest that the Communist Party or Chinese government has some particular equity in the firm.
They do.
Ian Chung, a National University of Singapore professor who studies Chinese foreign policy. This could raise further debate about whether TikTok is a tool for Beijing. Duh.
You know,
That's what I was wondering. That was it might be answering some of my question is what's in it for China? You know, at the end of the day, they're communists and it's about them and what they get out of it. So that's my biggest question. That aside, I have been pro banning this platform forever because military and DOD, we are not allowed to have this app. In fact, if you're active duty and you're caught with it, you can be Article 15. And that doesn't mean that you will be discharged because it's up to your commander, your unit commander on that. But an Article 15 is on your record. And it is not a good thing to have on your record. But it is highly, I want to say, illegal for any of us. DOD,
Eric,
civilians, and active duty, and even guard and reservists are not allowed to have the app.
So Erica, you're saying then that it might also not be wise to have a 13-year-old girl with TikTok on her phone?
Absolutely not. If it's not good enough for our military and military families, why is it good enough for the American, for the average American? I mean, I'm just looking at this from a common sense perspective.
Well,
Get rid of it.
Even just the content standpoint on TikTok is bad enough. I make no jokes about it when I refer to TikTok as digital cancer. It is an ADHD machine. It is an OnlyFans advertising platform. It is the source of so many amazing things for libs of TikTok to talk about. I see no reason for this platform to exist. And to know that China has their own version of TikTok, it's not called TikTok, where they know where to put all the safety controls on, and they turn all of those off for the U.S. audience. So they know what they're doing with TikTok. The thing that I want to bring up here, sorry about that, Erica, but I want to bring this up. Elon Musk has a very cozy relationship with China. As much as we like to think of him as a very pro-America person, he has factories in China for Tesla. I'm sure that there are elements of Starlink that are manufactured over there in China. He is someone that can be economically leaned on and leaned against by the Chinese people. So he is not someone who is completely free from influence. So I wonder if one of the reasons they want Elon Musk to have a part in this is because they consider him a foreign friendly, meaning that they probably can get their claws into him. Anybody have thoughts?
Aren't a lot of the components of the Tesla batteries, aren't they basically mined out of China?
If they're made of cobalt, I'm sure they are.
So I can tell you that when it comes to Teslas, one of the reasons that they're part of the tax rebate, which may go away under Trump, is because their batteries are sourced in ways that the government deems to be clean. And so they're when you buy a Tesla new, you can get a $7,500 tax credit for that. So there are other companies, especially in the phone industry, who do not subscribe to such a clean methodology for getting batteries. I think it's worth watching this, folks, and say that as you peruse YouTube and the other media places, I bet you're going to find traces of people saying, "Oh, Elon's buying TikTok. Here's the latest." Da, 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 da. Because you were here on this show, you know a little bit more. You can say, there's something going on with the Chi-Com propaganda. So Chi-Prop, you know about it, and we got it to you, folks, and now you know about it while the news is still hot. We hope you appreciate it. Is our goal here to.
Yep. Pro, you are cutting out here. So I'm going to say it is our goal here to say X going to give it to you.
And yet again, folks, we have come to the end. But what a video it has been, and we hope you agree. Folks, if you had a good time with us, consider clicking that like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell, and drop a comment right on down below. We care about your thoughts. Folks, we also want to invite you to partake in thatparkplace.com. Of course, www. You get the idea. Thatparkplace.com. It is the website telling the truth, and it is a rising star across the web for pop culture news coverage and analysis. Go over there and bookmark it today. Folks, we're bookmarking you as a great guest that we appreciate. Until the next time we have the honor of spending time with you, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, folks, you better believe it, keep having fun.